Hello world, it's Gojo4 with you. I'm back. I know. Where have I been? I disappeared. I'm in a whole new place. Let's just say I'm on a bold new adventure. But anyway, I'm here to talk about some big news that's splashed in the kaiju dumb recently. First things first. We got a first look. First things first. First, we got our premiere look, kind of, at the new Godzilla from Godzilla Monster Planet anime film coming out in Japan later this year, and Netflix after that. Even though it is just a promotional picture, it's drawn art that's in black and white, and it's kind of a side angle. You don't really get a direct shot. More, almost like a silhouette. You can still make out the basic design of him, and already very similar to Godzilla 2014, except the spines are a little bit more classic. Also, he's supposed to be huge in this one. It's supposed to be one of the biggest Godzillas ever because it's an anime. I don't want to be, it's a cartoon. It's fantasy. They can do whatever they want. They can make Godzilla humongous, and it is called Monster Planet. So I would imagine that everything is going to be bigger than ever before. So he's going to be huge. He's going to be massive. And of course, the premise is that these humans left Earth, went to another planet. Turns out that planet wasn't actually habitable, and now they're back. But because of a time difference relative to them, coming back only took a couple years, but in fact 20,000 years have passed on Earth. So it's very much like, instead of Planet of the Apes, it's Planet of the Monsters, if you will. But anyway, it's really exciting. I really hope we get some kind of trailer soon. We haven't really gotten much promotional material, just a couple images, concept art, poster, and now this. So I'm really hoping we're going to get a poster soon. I'm hoping we're going to get a trailer soon, get some actual footage and before the November theatrical screening. And then I hope there isn't too long of a difference between the theatrical screening and the arrival on Netflix, especially the worldwide arrival on Netflix. Also, on a side note, Shin Godzilla is finally coming to Blu-ray and DVD in the United States in August. So that's exciting, almost about a year after it came out in Japan. Finally, it's getting a release on DVD and Blu-ray in the United States. So for people who never got a chance to see it in theaters, they're finally going to get their chance to see it. For those of us who did see it, we get to see it again. Now, of course, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, or King of Monsters, of whatever, Godzilla 2 is filming right now in Atlanta and elsewhere, and the synopsis of the film was revealed along with several cast members. But essentially, if you've seen the ending of Kong Skull Island, you saw the post-credit sequence, you know that they teased Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. And the synopsis of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, essentially says Monarch has to deal with the arrival of Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. And King Ghidorah is called Godzilla's ultimate nemesis. So that's pretty much confirming what that post-credits teaser said and what we heard years ago at Comic-Con. And so it's going to be a big monster palooza, essentially a remake of King Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster, coming out March 2019. That's less than 2 years. Pretty exciting to see those classic monsters on the screen. It's been, at least more than 10 years since we saw Mothra on screen, since Godzilla Final Wars, and King Ghidorah, technically, if you count Kaiser Ghidorah. I'm a little iffy on that, but he technically. So then, it's been more than 10 years since we've seen Mothra and King Ghidorah and Rodan all on screen, so very exciting. This is a classic. You don't get more classic than those three. Those are the real classic Godzilla monster frenemies, if you will. And definitely Monarch is kind of going to be more of the central, I think, from the plot description, it's in Monarch is more of the central characters. Whereas Godzilla 2014, it was like ATJ and his dad. Monarch was kind of in the background. And even Kong Skull Island, Monarch was more part of the story, but still in the background. Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson were more the main characters. But I think this film, Godzilla 2, will have the main characters will probably be part of Monarch, or Monarch will be more involved, I think. It's going to be more part of the story. But the big question really on my mind is how is this going to connect back to King Kong? Because, like, as excited as we are to see King Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra, I'm excited, but the one we really want to see is Godzilla versus King Kong. That's a rematch, because that's only happened once. So we're really excited to see that. And I'm wondering, how are you going to transition from this big epic battle, I'm assuming, with King Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan, to Godzilla fighting King Kong? Like, I would have thought that they would have saved King Ghidorah for the King Kong movie, so that Godzilla and King Kong run into each other, hate each other, and then they have to join forces against King Ghidorah or something. Very much like Dawn of Justice. That's what I figured they would have done, but they're taking a different course with this, which I prefer, honestly. I think it would have been almost too cliche to do that. But the question is, how is this going to transition to Godzilla vs. King Kong? That movie is another 3 years from now, but at the same time, it is interesting because Godzilla 2 will have to leave some kind of thing at the end, some kind of cameo, some kind of setup for Godzilla vs. Kong, and as to how, and I've said before, I think I want something more than just Godzilla and King Kong fighting each other for 2 hours. Either it has to be they fight each other and a third alternative worse monsters they have to team up against, and maybe you could have Gaiden. That would be great. I love Gaiden. He's like my second favorite or third favorite Godzilla nemesis after King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla. I think Gaiden's a real fan favorite. He's not very well known outside the fandom, but he's like a fan favorite. And I think I'd love to see. I don't know how well he would work in the legendary monsterverse, but at the same time, like look at the crazy ass Muto and the Skullcrawlers. I think Gaiden could fit in because he's very weird and different, and they like that at legendary. So Gaiden could work. Megalon too is kind of infamous in a way. Maybe Gaiden and Megalon show up, and Godzilla and King Kong gotta face them. I think that would be a great way to kind of finish, because I guess Godzilla vs. Kong is really Godzilla 3, right? So it's kind of the end of the trilogy. I think it would be great to finish off with Gaiden, because after King Ghidorah, I think Gaiden is Godzilla's biggest nemesis. I don't know, that's debatable, but I think Gaiden is like one of his biggest nemesis, short of Mechagodzilla. But we don't know if Legendary is ready to go down that path. That might be too Pacific Rim-ish for them. So, but I think this is important to start thinking about, because we're no longer just in these one-off or these sequel films. We're in a monsterverse now. I guess I think these are things like Marvel. Like some of us like to kind of nerd out, like, oh, are they gonna have a quick teaser of Kong on his island, or are they gonna tease a new monster? Or hell, I would love it if they, I think I've already mentioned this, but I'd really love to see Chimera, hoping that maybe Chimera could come into the monsterverse. I think it'd be genius if Legendary could do it, because there's really no other non-Godzilla monster besides King Kong out there that's as famous as, like, you've got Godzilla, King Kong, and Chimera. You've got other creatures out there, but I think Chimera is one of the most other famous out there besides Godzilla and King Kong. And I think, as much as I would love to see Toho do Godzilla vs. Chimera, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I feel like Chimera could fit really well in the legendary monsterverse. So I'd love if maybe that too was brought in. If they could get the rights to Chimera, and I'm sure they could. It's not that expensive. And we get a Chimera, King Kong, Godzilla, in one movie. Holy crap! I would, that would be amazing. That would be like our Avengers, That would be our giant monster Avengers movie. But anyway, now I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting excited. There's also the Kong Skull Island MonsterVerse comic book that I haven't read it yet, but already it's kind of explains backstory and apparently show the ancient Kongs, the whole family as they fought Skullcrawlers, and probably begin to tie things into Godzilla 2 and bring up some of those characters, I'm sure, that are in Monarch. But at the same time, Godzilla 2 is, like I said, a little under 2 years away. I'm sure we might get some little thing at Comic-Con, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that. Next year is definitely the big one, but I think, don't expect too much at Comic-Con. They just started filming it. But possibly maybe something from Monster Planet. Last year at Comic-Con, they did show some stuff, if you remember. What was it? I think it was maybe New York Comic Con. One of them, they showed something for the anime. So maybe we'll get something from Toho at Comic Con. That's coming up pretty soon. And of course, I will be coming out of the woodwork again, probably to talk about Comic Con. You know, I do get excited about it. So, you know, I guess I hope you enjoyed this like news update and me just rambling about Godzilla and monsters like I always do. Hope you guys keep it funky. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Well, wasn't that just great?